MacBook ready. Iced coffee ready. Love my iced coffee. My donut is right there on the bed. That's a good walk. Not worth it. Hashtag this is not sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. I just love iced coffee in general. What's up, everyone? It is Quella Graphic Love coming to you again with another video. I hope that everyone's 2020 has been going magnificent so far. I hope that you are getting down your resolution list, your checklist, whatever it is that you have planned for yourself, any goals that you're completing. I hope those are getting done. Mine is still pretty long, so one at a time is what I'm trying to tell myself, but in just the past 2 months, so many great and wonderful things have been happening, and it's already topping off 2020 to be a pretty magnificent year, personally in my life, career-wise, financial-wise, just outlook-wise and perspective on life in general. So yeah, I'm wishing and hoping the best for you all as well. I am team you. I'm rooting for you guys. You know, we can all just root for each other, and see where it goes from there. So I say all that to say, since in the beginning of the years we have a lot of resolutions and plans that we are getting in place, or sometimes we have connections that we're building or networking things, and we're so eager to just blurt it all out to everyone that we meet, put it on social media, talk to your friends about it, when in actuality a lot of us should keep those things kind of, you know, just under wraps until they actually come into fruition and evolve. So this brings me to the topic of moving in silence. So this is what I usually see when people move in silence. Hey guys, I'm moving in silence. Hey, post on social media. Hey, like my picture, moving in silence. Here I am, guys, quietly moving in silence. Hey, how's it? How things go? How's it look? Me in the background, moving in silence. On my phone, moving in silence. Y'all not ready? Taking my drink, moving in silence. It's all over social media. Everybody is visually and visibly moving in silence. And I know, I get it. We get very exciting news or groundbreaking, ground-shattering evolutions or revelations into our life. The first thing we want to do is just tell everybody. I know I've been that person sometimes too. But generally I'm just a private person. And for various other reasons, I just don't really feel the need to tell everybody everything. It's deep. It goes way back to my childhood. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. Back on track of moving in silence. So see it all the time. I've seen it so much, especially on social media. You know, we're in this era now where you have to show what you're doing. You have to have proof that, hey, I'm making things happen, or hey, this is really happening for me, or hey, you know, things are about to take off. Hey, you know, don't sleep, watch, hashtag, just all this extra stuff that we do to prove that we're doing something. And I think with the involvement of social media, it makes it difficult, and it makes it a little easy for us to get caught up in the middle ground of how to properly balance that. Now, speaking from experience, speaking for myself, I'm one of those people, like I said, I'm generally a private person, but I will tell friends or close family and close friends things. But usually by the time I share it to social media, everybody else already knows. So when it's something like really, really, really close to me and I'm just, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to say anything, I don't say anything. Not even a hint, not even an inkling, not even anything like that. You know, even my social media presence now is very sparse because I'm actually working. I'm not on social media pretending like I'm working to show everyone that I'm working. Like I'm actually doing projects after I work my full-time job as a graphic designer. I'm actually on the weekends curating things that I need to work on for my website, for clients, for projects, for upcoming ideas and things that I have to do. So I struggle with that maybe around, I don't know. I want to say the height of that was like 2015, 2016, where I was like, oh, you know, working on this art piece. I'm going to take a picture of the corner of the art piece. oh, I got this dope client who wants this magnificent logo. I'll show like a fast presentation of me whipping up a logo in Illustrator. And I was like, maybe I should just wait until the finished product. So like around maybe 2018, even 2017, I stopped sharing as much. And I kind of just put it out there until I knew for sure. And then a lot of times, I just would tell like my close friends. But even now, it's to the point where I don't really tell anybody until I know for sure. Like the main person that I really tell is my sister, to be 100% honest. She's like the only person that I tell. I just don't really want to get too many people involved, and I'll touch on that later in the video as well. But yeah, moving in silence is something that I know everybody struggles with. And I just want to share some things about moving in silence, and just let's just get that together. So first and foremost, the definition of moving in silence is, I don't know if there's an actual textbook definition of moving in silence. Actually, let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, what's the definition of moving in silence?
Okay, I found this on the web for what's the definition of moving in silence. Check it out.
So it tells me to move quietly is one of these synonyms for moving in silence. Okay, Siri. So pretty much moving in silence, as what we curated and know, is when you are taking actions and steps to work on something bigger. It could be a project or something revolutionary or evolving in your life that is going to turn the fate of things for you, maybe career wise, financial wise, life wise, family wise, whatever it is. And it's the act of making progress without announcing it to the world, letting everybody know your every single step. It's just like if you were going to apply for a passport, filled out the application for my passport, submitted my application for the passport, just took my picture for my passport, just waiting 6 to 8 weeks to get my passport, but got my passport in the mail. And it's just like, is that necessary? Like, do you really need to show all the steps when moving in silence to just be, you're literally not saying anything. You're literally just there working behind the scenes and not exposing it or introducing it to the world or to your friends or to the masses until it's finally completed. It is in its final form. It's kind of like, I'll just use like when a woman is pregnant. You carry that baby for 9 months silently. I mean, I know you go through your things and all that type of stuff that goes along with pregnancy, of course. But the child is the product of those 9 months. So, the child was just in there cooling, chilling, having a fun little time. And boop, here I am 9 months later, like that child is a great example of moving in silence. I know it's weird. I know it's really real. Yeah. That's just kind of a definition that I curated. So like I mentioned, I struggled with moving in silence because not that I wanted to let everybody in on my business, but I felt like a lot of the people that I was around or that I surrounded myself with, I had to prove that I was kind of like on the same level as them. And I got very dangerous, it filtered over and then it goes to a deeper place. So like growing up, I was a very reserved child. A lot of things went down in my childhood, but for the most part, a lot of things I just kept to myself. So it just naturally made me a very private person. I felt like, why do I need to share certain information with people? Do people care is the number one. And that's the main one I still deal with now. Like, nobody cares. That's what I tell myself. Nobody cares what. Nobody cares that deep. Nobody's that deeply invested. Not to say that nobody cares like about my existence or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's just, I don't think people care that deep. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. That's kind of where I rooted from. And so for me now, I don't like to announce anything until it's in its completion. Like I've had 3 big things happen already this year, and it's only the end of February, about to be March tomorrow. And I've not said anything. I haven't said anything at all. And I know it. My sister knows it. My family, I tell them here and there. Like I'll tell my mom or like sprinkle it here and there. If they ask me, I will. But it's it's not something that I have shared with anyone yet. And it's just a new practice for me because certain things that I'm getting into, I just want to keep it protected until it actually comes to fruition. I don't want to jinx myself. I don't want to talk too early. I don't want people asking, "Oh, what happened with this?" or "Oh, what about this?" or like people can affect the outcome in so many ways. So many ways. Things to yourself until you know for sure. And until you're just positive enough to be like, okay, well, I know this thing is going to happen. It's already like at 98.9%. So I can share it. But my advice to you would be just wait till it's at 100%. That's it. Two more percentages will be good. And then you can tell everybody. I had to take a iced coffee sip. One other reason is a lot of times to keep things to yourself, to move in silence, because the plans change. When you started this particular thing, it could have been like, okay, this is going to be this, whatever. And then by the end of the time, it's probably already fizzled out, probably actually never, turned out how you really wanted it to. And it'll be like a bummer to be like, oh, well, this is how I thought it was, but it actually turned out this way. And it's just, it could be that type of resistance to it as well. And another very important thing I want to mention is not everyone is rooting for you. So I'm kind of circling back to another point I made just a few minutes ago, but not everyone is in your corner. So because you announce, oh, I got a new job, got a new car, just opened up this business, just, applied for my LLCs, started these courses, classes, whatever it is that you're doing, people could see that on social media and be like, oh, hope it doesn't work out for her. He not nothing anyways. Oh, he's gonna cheat on her. Oh, her business is gonna be crap. Like, you don't know the type of thoughts and energies that people put towards certain things like that. And unknowingly, it can affect the outcome of what it is. I mean, I don't want to say it like that. Those particular people have that much power over what it is that is made for you, but it's very wise to just take into consideration that everybody is not rooting for you. Everybody is not team you. Everybody does not want you to make it. Point blank, period. That's pretty much what it is. I'm not trying to make this video like bulleted or pointed, but some points that I make, I'll probably just flag them in the video somewhere in here. Another thing I want to mention is how people are very unoriginal and they can copy or steal your ideas. They can steal your whatever it is. It doesn't have to necessarily be like a business or anything like that. It could just be something that you thought of or something that is so tied to you that they are unoriginal, that they can't think of anything themselves. So for them, they're like, oh, well, so-and-so said they're going to do this, but I think I can do that. But the one thing about that, because I'll just relate this back to my career field. I'm a graphic designer, and to be 100% honest, every person, every artist, every designer, even in the regular art world, there have been variations and copies of previous works and pieces and designs and whatever it is. Everything draws inspiration from something else. So yes, there are going to be times where things have been copied. It's bound to happen in a world of, not to say there's not any more ideas, because there are tons of ideas. Like, an idea usually is branched off of something that already existed or an existing idea. So a person can copy your idea, but they can't execute it how you would. So execution is a number one big thing, because how you envision it, how you plan it in your head, how you, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, have this packaging, have this building, have these colors, so-and-so, whatever. That same person who copied your ideas, you didn't share that much information. Well, let's hope not. You didn't share the details of it to where they can copy it blatantly to a T, like they completely copied your style, copied everything. That's a problem. But there are people who their minds just don't think creatively. They don't think originally. They don't think innovative. They just kind of, oh, so-and-so's doing it, so I'm going to do it too. Oh, they're opening a car washing business, and oh, I'm going to do a car washing business too, but I'm going to make my name this, and I'm going to service this areas. And people are just being around to steal somebody else's idea. Like, I see it all the time in the graphic design world. Like people will steal people's logos, people's branding, people, it gets insane. And I know with ideas, like you can't patent or copyright a particular, like an idea, so to speak, but you can with the execution and whatever it is, the final product that you're creating. Be mindful of that. And then there are a lot of people who just, they can't think for themselves, like I said, and people who just trying to find a quick buck, a quick come up, and you know, they just try to ride your wave, to be completely honest. And we don't need any wave riders. I would advise you to tell at least one or two trusted friends. Um, it could be a family if you're close to a sibling like me and my older sister were quite close. So I usually tell her majority of everything. Another person would be like a close friend or a best friend. My circle is kind of small, so I don't really have a best friend, but I do have some close friends that I know I can confide in, or a lot of times I just tell my sister because she gets it and she understands. I did have one friend who I was applying for a job, and it was a very big job, very big responsibility. I went through 2 interview processes. It was intense. It was really intense, and I was really looking forward to it. The pay was through the roof. Like I would have killed that job. I'm not sure why I didn't get it, but whatever. So long story short, I was trying to transition out of my current employment into another establishment, another position. And I told this person about how my interview went. They were like, oh, well, hopefully you hear something back, whatever the case may be. I kind of wish that I'm kind of hoping that you don't get the job so you don't leave me at the job. And I was just like, what? Like, that still struck a chord with me. So from that time, I never shared anything else with that person. If I share something with them, it's very like surface. I don't go into detail. But I was like, you know what? I will never share my career, my nothing like that. You don't need to know anything because you show me that you are not a friend to be trusted. You show me that you're not a person that I can go to and share my good deeds when you're praying, silently praying and hoping for my downfall. People want to see you fail because it goes back to that I didn't make it, so I don't want to see them make it. I wasn't able to be that, so I don't want them to be that. They can't think that highly of themselves or whatever it is that they're doing because I'm not able to do that. I've had this happen to me several times where because certain people couldn't get to those levels themselves or really get the discipline or the responsibility to hold themselves to a standard of, hey, I want to be better. I want to elevate. I want to grow. I want to be more than what was around me. I had a very, very, very close family member say to me that they would always remind me, oh, well, you got to remember where you came from. You got to remember where you came from type of thing. And when people say that to you, it's like they're trying to say it for you to be humble. And I'm already 1000% humble person. Like I'm never a braggy person. I don't show my riches or flaunt my wealth in anybody's face at all. And this particular individual told me, oh, well, you gotta remember where you came from. Don't forget like where you started, or don't. And it was just, he would always say it, and to me I knew what he meant because I knew this man for a very long time, and how he said things would be in the vein of because I'm not able to see those things for myself, or I'm not able to see myself at that high of a level. You can't be that. So even when I would share my good news or the things that I accomplished with this individual, they would try to insert themselves and try to one up me or like make it like a competition instead of just saying, I'm proud of you. I'm so happy that you are being so much better and doing so much more than I ever thought of. I'm so blessed to have you in my life to even be able to think your mind out of the situations. Your upbringing wasn't the best, but the person that you are today, you're making, like I never heard those words from that individual. And it made me discouraged because I was like, it doesn't matter what I do. This person obviously isn't going to be proud. This person obviously doesn't want me to be a better person. Being the figure that you were in my life, you don't want me to be better. You don't want me to grow. You don't want me to achieve. Like if I said, oh, yeah, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have at least 2 or 3 businesses. And they were like, oh, well, how are you going to do that? No, you can't do that. Like just come with the negatives already prepared and ready because they are not able to think themselves to that level. So they want to keep you at the level that they're comfortable with because they don't want you to do better than them. And, even if you do better than them, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being better than them. Like, it's like actually, hey, I'm better than you type of thing. It's more so just, I'm doing better for me. And if you notice that I'm doing better for me and you take it as, oh, you think you're better, that's a personal problem. That's not me. I mean, if I was one of those people that's like braggadocious and that into that type of thing, then I would understand. But if a person's just doing them and they're just thriving, just root for them. Let them thrive. Don't try to bring them down. Like, don't be a hater. I hate that term. I really do. But there are a lot of people who are haters. They just don't want to see you do good. Another thing is to move in silence for real. Just keep a record or video or photos and save it. Save it as documentation that you can use and reveal for later. I know people who they'll be building a building and they'll be, I'll just say, in that building they're working on an art piece. So it could be a mural or whatever. And they don't reveal every single day they went in and did the details and they just record it for themselves or document it for themselves, compile it, and then once it's done, they just show the full picture. And that's what I like. Like, just show the full picture. Save it after its completion until it's fully completed. And then once that has turned out to be what it was supposed to be, you can use all those, dark times or hard nights or whatever it is, the turmoil, the trials and tribulations that you went through that process, instead of sharing it bit by bit by bit by bit as you would, to move in silence properly, you would just save that as your testimony. Keep that to share your story with others. Like, hey, when I started this business, it was just me. I was discouraged. I was alone. I had no money. I was broke. I went into bankrupt. Just sharing all those things within your testimony proves a better credibility because you overcame those things. You're not currently going through those. Like, you don't go on social media like, oh, just file for bankruptcy to pay for this brick and mortar business. Like, no, just save that. Because if you post that, people are gonna be like, oh yes, it's not working. Yes, they didn't have the money. Yes, they weren't able to get it. Oh yes, it gives me more time. Like, people are conniving like that, and they are just weird like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Another realization, a very, very true realization, is your friends will most likely than not be your main supporters. And when I say supporters in this instance, I'm talking about profitable supporters. The money, the money, the money. And let me just clarify, when I say this as support, I'm not saying, when your friends reshare your stuff or they like your stuff or they tell other people about it, that's not support. Yes, that is a form of support, but with that form of support, we need some kind of follow-up. So if I have a business and you're sharing, oh, my friend does this X, Y, and Z, whatever, and you're resharing it, reposting it, liking it, getting people to refer to the business, but you have not purchased anything, you're not really helping your friend as support, especially profitable support, which will help them continue the business. I had, about 2 summers ago, I had a sunglasses line called Stylized Shades. Right now, it's kind of in retirement because I want to switch some things up on it. So I had Stylized Shades, and I had the website, the logo, the branding, the packaging, everything was completely to a T. And I told a few people about it on Facebook. I told a few people about it on Instagram. I had everything laid out ready. It was just good to go. Perfect. I spent a lot of time on that. I did the photography, the photo shoots. I still reflect back on that. I'm like, I'm so proud of that because that brand looked so legit and it wasn't even like, it was still in its infancy. So I had friends who would reshare the post, kind of repost it, like it. Oh, I'm gonna buy. Oh, I'm gonna buy. You know, like, oh, okay, that's cool that you have an interest in buying, but when does your support turn into profit? Like when does it turn into a monetary value? So a lot of my sales from Stylized Shades did not even come from my friends. I'll tell you that 100%. My sales from Stylized Shades came from coworkers. Like my coworkers heard about my sunglasses business, and they're like, "Oh, I want some shades. I want some shades." Like, and I wasn't close with them, but we just worked together, so we were cool. But I didn't know them like that, and I didn't. I had, my sister. She purchased a pair. My other sister purchased a pair too, obviously. But my close friends, my best friends, my friends' friends, they did not buy any shades at all. And it's like, well, I had sales and deals and discounts, whatever, just to kind of get people into the brand. They still didn't purchase, still didn't buy, so that was a big bummer when I ran that business. So yeah, I don't talk about that much because it was really just eye opening. Like, oh, your friends say they're gonna support and stuff, but when it's time to support, they'll go buy somebody else's product or purchase or merchandise. So I know I mentioned haters earlier in the video about some people just are haters. It don't matter what you do, they just don't care. But there is a difference between haters and people who just don't support you or they're just not feeling you. So if a person doesn't really have a need for what it is that you're doing, they're not a hater, like I'm not into trailer tractors. So if my friend had a trailer tractor business and, it's just not me. I'm not being a hater. I just have no interest in trailer tractors. So I guess it also depends on the demographic of people. So there are people who be like, oh, you got shades or whatever. I don't like the style of those shades, or I don't like how this is, or I don't like the color scheme, or whatever it is. I don't like the packaging, whatever they're saying. If they're trying to find a negative, then yes, they can be considered a hater. If they're like just finding anything, but there are people who just aren't feeling what you're doing. But I feel like also those same people who aren't feeling it, you don't have to voice everything. Like you don't have to write a complaint like, "Oh, I hate bananas." You don't eat bananas, so why are you commenting on a banana pudding recipe? Oh, I hate bananas. Okay, you're not the market that you're not my demographic, so why did you even waste your time? Social media just gives everybody a voice, and a lot of people don't need a voice. Let's just be honest on that one. So when moving in silence, whatever it is that you're doing, you want to make sure that you're being true to yourself. So whatever the product, the business, the design, the idea, whatever it could be, are you doing it for a quick money grab or are you doing it for longevity? So do you want to get like long lasting recognition and you want to put your foot in the game? You want to make your mark, put your stake in to build longevity, or are you just putting some stuff in a box and just getting a quick little $10 that you can flip to buy, some shoes, or what are you doing it for? You know, it really makes you sit back and evaluate, okay, well, I really want this product to be A, B, C, D, F versus, oh, I'm just gonna do this for a little while and I get a little profit from it. I just, is it a side type of thing or is your heart in it? Even side hustles can turn into longevity, like things with longevity. So I think you do need to go back and ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Is there a purpose as to why I want to build a brand versus just make a t-shirt? Want to sell an art piece versus have an entire collection of your artwork, and just think about that part. To wrap it up about moving in silence, one thing I really want to touch on is that a lot of times in silence, you need steps and directions and you need instructions. And I believe in God and I am a woman of faith. So I don't like to label myself Christian, whatever it is, because obviously that has different meanings to people, but I do have faith. I do believe in a higher power. I believe in the universe. I believe in everything works in one order, you know? So I believe God and the universe are created as one. So to say that, I think a lot of times when we're moving in silence, that's also a very, very sacred time for us to be having communication with God on what our next steps and our instructions should be. So, for example, earlier this year, every year I do the Daniel fast, and I partake in that 21-day fast of prayer and fasting. And for a lot of times, you do it and you don't really think, okay, well, what is going to be revealed to me in this time? A lot of times you don't sit and do the Daniel fast just to get a revelation. You kind of just do it to prove to God that, your time with me is important and my relationship with you is important and I want to get my prayer and my life in alignment with whatever that you have organized and created for me. So for me, I got so many life-changing ideas in just those 21 days. Like I have a list of new ideas that just happened, that just came into fruition. And I knew those would not reveal themselves to me if I didn't take that time to take a break from social media, take a break from the outside world and just do some introspection and really take that moment to hear from God and keep my eyes alert and my ears sound for his voice. And it's kind of touchy for me because it really showed a lot. Like the 21 days of prayer and fasting that I did this year was very eye-opening. So many things happened in such a short period of time. But within that silence, I got direction. So moving in silence is essential to put your best foot forward, whatever it is that you're working on, that you're doing. And when you're ready to show it to the world, when you're ready to showcase it, when you're ready to talk about it, it feels genuine. It feels like it's coming from the heart. It feels like it is coming from a deep place because you took the time to really own that and craft it and nurture it and zero in on it. I hope you all enjoyed today's segment on moving in silence. If you want me to go back and elaborate on any of the points that I touched on, please feel free to let me know in the comments. And I love interacting with you guys as well. So please leave a comment on your methods of moving in silence and actually what your definition is. Let me know if this video was helpful to you to understand what moving in silence is. And it's not this, hey guys, moving in silence is genuinely just woosah, introspection, alone time, getting done. Alright guys, thank you all for watching another video and I will see you in my next one.